All right, the next thing we're going to do is install this weight, or at least get ready to install this weight. You remember we've got holes down here that allow us to screw this in place. What I've done now is just made this paper pattern that I can place on here that allows me to position this so that everything's going to fit, and I can get those holes drilled in the correct spot. I'm just going to kind of get this centered up in here. Get this pattern in place. I'm just going to hold the pattern down like that. This is going to go right here. Let's double check. We'll put our weight in place like so. That's going to go there. We'll drill the holes and screw this in place. That'll hold the weight in place. And it's the shelf for our receiver, RailPro receiver. I like to keep the receiver high up in the engine. The higher up in the engine, the more reception you have, the more depth of reception, the more length. So we want to keep that going too. All right, let's get this done.
Super important in piecing together talents. However, is a challenge. The site's battling both natural elements and human factors. Not just for archaeology buffs, but for understanding a key part.
Is they are supposedly the first high civilization of Central America.
All right, there's our holes. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge those a little bit, then we'll go ahead and screw that on. Hold tight. GoPro stop video. Well, what I found is this won't go on with these bosses in the way. Now, I suppose if I would have moved this whole assembly over, I could get that to work, but I really wanted to maintain this weight, and that wouldn't fit between the bosses anyway, so we're going to go ahead and cut these. They don't do anything. I'm going to go ahead and remove these. So let's give that a try, see what happens. GoPro, stop video.
And just ran out of gas. Up to the fourth, Gim second over the water from 115.
Like we talked about yesterday, it's the birdie hole from the fairway. You have this whole location you use this to stick it down to the hole.
Perfect. Look at that. Clean that thing right off there. You don't even know it's there. I'll go ahead and do the other side. We'll get back on this. GoPro, stop video. Oh, GoPro, stop video. Well, as you can see, removing those was, it's a great fit. Now I'm just test fitting the cab, the shell on place. Next, I did get the latest version of this battery mount done as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in place. Oh yeah, the fit is much better. I'll still have to remove this boss or this post here to get the battery to sit flat. But the battery's going to sit right here. Our receiver, RailPro receiver, is going to sit right here. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking real good. Let's go ahead and, just for the sake of it, even though that boss, I got to remove that boss, so let's hang on for a second. Let's get that done. GoPro, stop video. I'm going to go ahead and protect this area. I'm going to try to get the saw in here and just remove what's needed using the battery mount as a guide. But I don't want to risk damaging this tread plate. All right. Let's see what we can do here.
pull the trigger a lot, but I just
Let me see if that clears.
he doesn't love that it's taking
No,
so long,
darn it.
but he's-
I'm gonna have to, I gotta be so careful with this tread plate here. We're gonna try to take this off the old-fashioned one here. There we go.
And Shoffley has his putt from birdie, chance to get an early jump on this round. A huge stake if he makes this, John.
Yeah, and a chance to reverse that.
There we go.
Yesterday he had the inside club and missed the short one for birdie.
Really what I want to do is I want to make sure that everything's going to fit under the cab here, under the cowl.
Watch how softly he hits this.
Pull this.
Just got left a little early. These greens.
Oh yeah.
Topped out around 13.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's tight, but we got it. The battery is still moving. So, excellent. That's a little tighter than some of the others, but that's cool. We got it. I'll probably end up making one of these removable to charge the battery. That's what I've been doing on the other engines. It works pretty good. Anyway, looks like we've got our 3D parts, 3D printed parts, in a position that they can be, permanently installed in the engine. So let me get this back off. I'm going to actually sand off a little bit of the material there, and this is actually going to get glued into place. You can see this clears the screw in case I need to remove that truck mount, pivoting truck mount. This is already screwed into place. It's got the weight captured. So just like that, we're going to glue that into place, and then we'll be able to continue. GoPro, stop video. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and glue this in place. I'm going to use 3M plastic and emblem adhesive. I find that works extremely well on 3D printed parts as well as plastic. And as soon as I get that set, I'm going to go ahead and just put this battery on for weight. We'll let that sit. This part screws into place. This battery mount we're going to go ahead and glue into place. So hang tight while I get that done. There we go. Get that out of there. Get that in there.
Scheffler coming up to take it out of the hole. He said this injury is so bad. He says, I know what I feel not very every day. That has been the case exactly. He says by Tuesday, Wednesday, I think this thing will be out.
There we go. So we'll let that sit. We'll let that glue cure off and clean up a little bit around here, I guess will be the next thing. GoPro, stop video. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is identify the placement of the on and off switch. I put the fuel tank in place so I'd know exactly what kind of room I had here. That's going to be right there, and I want to make sure that this will actually be cut out and this bezel will be set in there. The switch will be attached. So I'm just putting this piece of paper there so I can scribe a mark around it so I can get this installed in there. Clear the fuel tank, make sure there's room for the wires to pass through there. So that looks like the spot. All right, we're gonna trim that out. Hang tight. GoPro, stop video. All right, let's go ahead and get this. This is marked. I wonder if I can zoom in here a little bit for you. Well, just barely. But basically, here's going to be my cutout. It'll be over the old switch pack here. We're going to use a Dremel tool with a carbide on it. There we go. Let's do this. So you can see this is where my switch bezel is going to go, right here. Putting the tank in place should still be doable. And if not, we'll make an adjustment to that too. It's just a little bit snug. All right, we can fix that. There, that's better. All right, let me get this vacuumed up and cleaned up.
I will not disable the security field. Your actions are futile.
We'd have to figure out a way to climb down 30 stories to inject the nanites directly into her brain. Why?
Because I seriously doubt that we have 6 minutes.
GoPro, stop video. So again, we're going to use 3M emblem, plastic emblem adhesive to install this switch bezel. I'm going to go ahead and just remove the fuel tank for a moment. You can see our switch drops in here. I'm going to go ahead and just remove a little bit of plastic or paint down this bezel area. It's really not going to take much to hold this in. I don't know if you've had a chance to use this 3M plastic emblem adhesive, but it is good stuff. I don't use epoxy. I'm allergic to epoxy, so that would be out for me in this case. I wouldn't use it probably anyway. And I don't like CA. If I can avoid using acidic cyanoacrylate, I do. So this little guy is going to go right here. Let's go ahead and get that glued in. All right. Just going to put a little on the applicator thing I've got here. Nothing more than a small awl. Let's put it on the back of here. That may be the easier task here. Again, it's not going to take a whole bunch. And if a little bit comes out the sides or whatever, that's okay too. And just like that. Let's go ahead and slide him in there. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that I don't have any adhesive built up, at least on the tank edge. Heck, I don't like the look of that either, but we'll live with that. Make sure the tank fits perfectly, and it does, like that. So today, what did we get done? Well, we got the machining, basically the installation of the weight and the 3D printed tray for the RailPro LM4S. Now again, I like to keep that as high as possible in the engine. Again, that's just reception and range, added reception and range. The higher you can have that, the better. This is our 3D printed battery mount. Now the Velcro goes up underneath here and straps around the battery. We'll get closer to that. You can see here's our switch bezel. So that was a good day. That was a good day. Very challenging. A pretty challenging install, actually. But I think when we're done, I'm really looking forward to getting this thing done. This is the very first brand new G-gauge or G-gauge engine I've purchased, and I bought it brand new. And again, we had that broken front truck thing. We'll see how that pans out here in the end. But anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. We'll get to probably starting up some of the lighting and LED wiring pretty soon. So let's get to it. We'll see you later. Bye.